Imposter syndrome is a common feeling as a photographer or a creative person in general. You overanalyze, you overthink, you procrastinate, and you doubt all of the work that you put into everything and ask yourself, are you even good enough to be doing it?
Right then, 5 o'clock in the morning, let's head to the mountains.
I don't know about you, but I sit there dreaming of all of these incredible things that I want to be going and doing, but I come up with stupid reasons as to why I can't actually go and do them, and I'm constantly making myself excuses, and quite frankly, I've had enough of it. One day, Holly gave me the push I needed to put all of my doubts to one side for 5 minutes and book a trip away to Snowdonia in Wales. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, so even though I am familiar with Snowdonia, I wanted to go to places that I'd never been to before. I wanted to challenge myself creatively and to make photos and find enjoyment in making videos again. I've just decided to stop off on the way into the mountains at quite a famous little spot in a little village in Snowdonia, or on the way into Snowdonia. And I've always wanted to capture it in the autumn because it looks incredible. But I have a feeling I'm maybe like a week or two too late, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll get a nice shot of it anyway. Photography has always been an interest of mine ever since I was a kid. I remember my granddad taking photos of birds in the back garden and then playing around with early versions of Photoshop. And my dad dabbled in photography a little bit as well. So I had that interest, but it's only the last 3 or 4 years that I've really taken it seriously and become a full-time photographer. I've learned so much in those 3 or 4 years, and it's such a short amount of time, but when I look back at my old photos and videos, it's crazy to think just how far I've come, and I've still got so far to go to where I want to be. But in the last few months, I've just felt a little bit flat with it, and that I'm not achieving what I want to be. You know when you're learning something and you're excited about it and you're that invested into it that you can't stop doing that thing? I lost that feeling, and that's what I want back. So that's what this Snowdonia trip was meant for. As expected, I am a week or two too late, unfortunately. But the idea was to shoot this little tea room and the bridge and the river at sunrise. Every autumn it goes bright red, but unfortunately it looks like everything has dropped off it. Still gonna get a nice shot though. Snowdonia is one of those magical places that you can explore and constantly find new things. It is always changing all of the time. It is the perfect place to escape and think about nothing other than photography, and it didn't take long for me to get into my little bubble. Heading further into the mountains, the weather took a turn and thick fog rolled in, blocking any view of the mountains. Well, this has escalated quickly. The weather was glorious back there. 20 minutes into the mountains, however, it is a pure whiteout. This is one of my favourite views of the mountains of Snowdon. Literally there, you can see the Snowdon Horseshoe. It is there, but not today. Well, this has got to be one of the best Monday morning coffees I've ever had. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is the outline of a mountain just starting to appear. So it might clear up after all. Fingers crossed. The fog kept getting thicker the further into the mountains that I got, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the sun came out. I've decided to stop again because the sun came out. Proper foggy up there in the peaks, but then as you start to drop down, the sun comes out and it's absolutely glorious. It was at this point that I realised that I wasn't gonna be unhappy if I went for the whole of this little trip without taking any photos that I was happy and proud of. It was all about just being out in the mountains and enjoying the moment. It's so important to do this when you're struggling with self-doubt and imposter syndrome, as it gives you the space to make sense of everything and to think clearly and find the satisfaction in what you do again. I find it incredible how quickly you forget about everything in the mountains. It reminds you how small and insignificant we are, and that most of our problems aren't actually problems. Exploring new places is great for that as well, because it gives you an entirely fresh perspective to rethink things and think about things in a different way.
Wow, I found what I came for. It was a bit of a walk. This is the Anglesey Barracks, where I think all of the old quarry workers used to sleep. It's pretty insane. Imagine what this must have been like. This shut down in 1969 and now it's just left like this. It's incredible. Amazing place to take photos.
Struggling with imposter syndrome is something that I don't think you can ever get fully rid of, because it's always going to creep back in at some point when you least expect it. It's all about finding ways for you to manage and cope with it. And it just so happens that the mountains and being outdoors is my way, because it instantly makes me feel refreshed and lighter.
Do you find it really annoying when you use bracketing for a photo and then you forget that you've got it on for your next photo? I always find that really irritating. This place is insane. I love this place. Wow. I just don't think you could ever get bored here. It is unbelievable. But right now, unfortunately, I do need to leave and I need to go and find the final spot of the day. It's near where I'm staying, but I can't miss out that when the weather's like this, because I think it might be perfect tonight.
Even though it was a long day and I was knackered, it was exactly what I needed, because it helped me to realise that photography and video itself wasn't actually the issue, but also that by persevering and sticking with something, even when you really don't want to sometimes, strengthens your passion to keep continuing to get better at your craft, and eventually it will become easier again. You just need to be doing it for the right reasons. When I apply that to this YouTube channel and how far it has come, even though it is still tiny in the great scheme of things compared to other YouTube channels, to me it's not tiny. I'm so proud of it and what I've been able to do with it. I cannot wait to see what happens with it in the future and where it will take me and what I'll be doing with it in a few years' time.
It is now 5:20, nearly 5:25. It's been a very long day. A lot of driving, a lot of walking, a lot of photography. It's been a very good day as well. But I've just reached my final photography spot of the day after having checked into my B&B for the night, and I have about an hour until sunset. So it's going to be a bit tight, but we're going to get there, just. I'm really starting to push it. I think the sun is going down very quickly. Might just get there, heading over to that island. I don't care how far on it I get, I just want it, there's one shot that I want.
There will be times in the future where I'll think twice about uploading a video, but at the end of the day, I enjoy making these videos, and that is all that matters. And I believe that if you are doing what you enjoy and you are doing it for the right reasons, then you'll always be able to break through that feeling of self-doubt and imposter syndrome eventually.
We made it just in time. This is amazing. I'm going to try and get a couple of shots here with the 35mm f1.8. just as the sun's going down. And yeah, then I'm going to head back and have an early night because I am done in. But what a day. What a day.